She has a scent and a name that she hasn't revealed to everyone yet. So it's
it's the new scent coming out.
Yeah,
that's what you smell like. That's
Yes.
amazing. You people are there's just money just flowing in every single direction. I mean, really, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's crazy that your family has.
Today, we're exploring some exciting drama that's been happening with the Kardashian-Jenner family. You're going to want to take a seat for this because it's truly something else. Let me explain this surprising situation that's currently making waves in the entertainment world. Kris Jenner is in a bit of a tough spot with the IRS, and it seems like things aren't going too well for her right now. The situation involves her California community church, and the allegations are quite serious. Recent reports indicate that the IRS is looking into Kris for possible tax evasion, and interestingly, it might not only concern her personal taxes, but could also involve her children's earnings. The whole situation started catching attention when folks began taking a closer look at this church, which Kris founded back in 2009. Originally called the Life Change Church, it's guided by Pastor Brad Johnson, and if you're a devoted KUWTK fan, you might recall him as the one who officiated Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom's wedding. While the family has always been open about their religious connections, sharing prayers on their shows, and posting about faith on social media, there's something about this church that's catching more than a few eyes.
Warming gift or a hostess gift one year about 1,000,000 years ago in the 90s. You came over to one of my houses in Hidden Hills long ago.
Only you can say one of my houses.
Well, you know, like a house I had years ago before I moved.
Right.
And
let me explain why this has sparked such a lively discussion. First off, there's this lovely practice called tithing in churches, where members usually give 10% of their earnings to support the church. Here's where it gets interesting. Kris has always taken exactly 10% of all her children's earnings as their manager. What a coincidence. Many folks aren't really going for it. Oh, but hold on, it just keeps getting more interesting. Radar Online reports that the church found itself in a bit of a tax scandal for not paying certain taxes during its early years. Now, I can guess what's on your mind. Aren't churches tax exempt? Sure, but also not really. Even though churches are exempt from paying federal, state, and local taxes, they still have to take care of payroll taxes for their employees, and it seems that's when things took a turn. The real surprise? The membership fee for this church is truly surprising. We're chatting about $11,000 each month. Absolutely, that's correct. $11,000 each month just to be part of the services. This isn't your usual Sunday collection plate scenario. This feels like a more luxurious religious experience, and it's bringing up questions about whether this is really about faith or something different altogether. However, the church situation is only the beginning when it comes to the family's financial controversies. The Kardashians have participated in some charity auctions on eBay, where the proceeds went to this same church, which
energy. Where do I get my Hi, God only knows. Yeah, from God. I have a lot of energy, but I have it from 4 a.m. to like 5. And then, you know, might need a cocktail and then relax, and then I'm in.
Interestingly, help them navigate certain tax obligations. And if you think that's surprising, just wait until you hear about the rest of the family's financial situation. Oh, that's just the beginning. There's so much more to share about Kim's finances, and it's getting quite interesting. First up, let's speak about how folks are really curious about Kim's billionaire status. Remember when Forbes called out Kylie for inflating the value of her Kylie Cosmetics? That was quite the moment. She really lost her billionaire status because of that. Now, folks are raising their eyebrows at Kim's finances as well, and honestly, there could be something interesting there. Last year, Kim found herself in a bit of a pickle with the SEC. It was quite the situation. She got into a bit of trouble for promoting a cryptocurrency called Ethereum Max without mentioning that it was a paid advertisement. That's a big no-no, everyone. She was involved in something known as a pump and dump scheme.
But I think the most important thing that I learned through my experience, both of my experiences, is that the kids come first. And I think if you keep that in the front of your mind and know that they are going to get you through.
Aiming to increase the crypto's price before selling it to investors. What's the cost of that mistake? A huge fine of $1.26 million. But here's what's really getting people chatting. Kim is still running regular Instagram ads, which is a bit unusual for someone who's supposedly a billionaire, don't you think? It's interesting to see someone with billions still engaging in basic influencer work, isn't it? It feels more like Instagram model than billionaire businesswoman, and folks are beginning to notice the similarities. And get this, according according to Kanye. And yes, I know we should take what he says with a grain of salt. Kim isn't quite as wealthy as she wants us to believe. It seems this is the reason he always kept his money separate from hers, even during their happy marriage. He sensed that something just didn't quite make sense. Let me share a fun story from Kim's past that not a lot of folks are aware of. Before she became famous, Kim was a closet assistant for singer Brandy, but this job turned into quite the drama because, get ready for this, Kim, along with Chloe and Rob, supposedly took $120,000 from Brandy's mother's credit card. They really had a thoughtful approach to it. They held onto the credit card details and patiently waited years before deciding to use them. To keep things under wraps, they used the money at their own stores, Dash and Smooch, aiming to create the appearance of legitimate income. That was quite clever, wasn't it? Initially, Brandy's mom offered Kim a friendly opportunity to return the money without involving the law.
If you weren't married and pregnant by 30.
Absolutely.
And that was really interesting and just so crazy now when I think back about that because, you know, I have so many daughters and they're 2 different generations, you know, 5 daughters, couple different generations.
But after a year of no payment from Kim, the situation took a serious turn. Brandy and Ray J were able to persuade their mom to take care of things privately, which is why it didn't go to court. But hold on, it gets even more exciting. Before Kim became famous, she was said to have a sugar daddy named Joe Lowe, an Asian businessman who's currently facing some serious trouble. We're chatting about international money laundering schemes. Kim reportedly traveled with him to casinos in Asia. And guess what? In 2009, she said she flew back to LA with a trash bag full of $250,000 in cash from a Las Vegas casino win. But guess what? That could have been linked to a big money laundering scheme. This Joe Lowe person, he's being sought by international authorities for supposedly orchestrating a plan to divert $4.5 billion from Malaysia's state-run economic development fund. The FBI looked into Kim's connection to all this, but they weren't able to find anything to hold against her. Let's talk about embracing life to the fullest. And if you think that's surprising, just wait until you hear about their current financial situation. Kim's got a $48 million mortgage on her $70 million mansion, and guess what? That's not even the wildest part. She can't even turn to her family for help since they're all facing their own financial struggles. We're discussing some impressive figures here.
I think just taking some time for myself. I like to read a little bit or even just flip through a magazine. I enjoy, you know, doing something that watching The Bachelorette or Dancing with the Stars, anything where you don't really have to think too hard, you know, and I enjoy it. It's like my guilty pleasure.
Kris Jenner has loans amounting to over $50 million. Kylie's taken out $7.5 million. And when you put it all together, the Kardashians are said to be $132 million in debt. It seems like Kanye is really focused on his new wife Bianca right now, and he might not be paying much attention to Kim's financial situation. His main focus is on their 4 kids. All this chatter about their financial troubles has social media really buzzing, and the comments I'm seeing are quite something. Some folks are really claiming that this family's wealth is all just smoke and mirrors. We're talking about tricks, schemes, and even faking documents to make it onto those fancy rich lists. Let's talk about what this means for their empire, as things are really heating up. The Kardashians are well known for their extravagant lifestyle, the private jets, the designer clothes, and the huge mansions. But what about now? It seems like things might not be going as planned. It seems like their TV show ratings have dipped a bit, their products aren't selling as quickly as they once did, and their social media engagement is looking a little different too. Let's just say it's not quite the same as it used to be. Do you recall when everyone was so into Kylie's lip kits? Those days seem like a distant memory now. The beauty industry is evolving, and younger influencers are stepping into the spotlight. Even Kim's Skims, while still doing well, isn't creating the kind of excitement it needs to keep up with their lifestyle. It's really fascinating to see how this is impacting their business partnerships. Brands are beginning to reconsider collaborating with them. What's the reason? Authenticity has become really important in social media.
You see all of our personalities, good and bad. You see everything, warts and all. You know, some things I'm not as proud of on certain days as others. You think, oh God. And I've been offered the opportunity to actually go back and edit things out if like that's too painful. I'm like, you know what?
And honestly, the Kardashians haven't been shining in that area recently. Their whole relatable billionaire vibe just isn't resonating like it used to. And guess what? Their legal issues go beyond just taxes. They're dealing with lawsuits from all sides, ranging from product complaints to contract disputes. It seems like every time they turn around, there's another legal document ready to be served. The lawyers' fees must be really high. The truly exciting part? Their efforts to diversify their income streams could be leading to some unexpected challenges. every new business venture brings its own unique challenges, and they might be stretching themselves a bit too thin. It seems like they're on a financial whack-a-mole adventure. Tackling one money issue only leads to another popping up. People are really curious about how long they can maintain this. Their entire empire seems to thrive on projecting an image of endless wealth and success, but it looks like some cracks are beginning to appear. In today's social media world, once people begin to see past the facade, it's really tough to put that genie back in the bottle. I've been chatting with some folks in the fashion and beauty world, and it seems like the Kardashians' influence in these markets isn't quite as strong as it once was. Do you recall how anything associated with the Kardashian name would fly off the shelves in no time? Those days are behind us now.
And then we couldn't keep up with the call. I'm like, this is amazing. This is really working. So he was back on the road doing his motivational speaking. We raised his price because I thought, well, he's just not charging enough. It's got to be something that they really want and they almost can't have.
Retailers are noticing that their products are hanging out on shelves for a bit longer, and some are even finding a new home in discount bins. Oh no. The real scoop is about their business practices. Some former employees, who prefer to remain anonymous, have pointed out a trend of exaggerating numbers and creating deals that appear impressive on paper, but don't really generate the revenue they suggest. We're discussing signing contracts for large sums, but there are so many conditions and clauses that they often don't receive the full payment. Let's chat about their well-known social media presence. I've heard that they're losing their influence quicker than they can gain new followers. There are some buzzes going around about purchased engagement numbers. The new generation of social media users is moving away from the perfectly curated reality. They really value authenticity, and honestly, staging paparazzi photos and making up drama for headlines doesn't feel very genuine. It's really fascinating to see how this is impacting their connections with high-end brands. Luxury houses that once eagerly asked them to wear their clothes are now gently stepping back. What's the reason? Their ongoing issues with scandals and financial troubles are beginning to affect the reputation of these luxury brands. The truly surprising part? Some financial experts are suggesting that in the coming years, we could witness some significant bankruptcies in the family. Their lifestyle expenses are quite remarkable. We're looking at millions each month just for maintaining their properties, security teams, staff, and private jets. With their income streams drying up and debts piling higher
than the got milk people were. So that really never came to fruition. And then at the end of the day, a couple years ago, Kim was in a music video and she was taking a milk bath. And I thought, you did it, Kim, you got milk all over that body. So that was kind of like
something's got to change. And I won't even begin to talk about their efforts to enter new markets. What about their cryptocurrency ventures? It didn't go as planned. What about their tech investments? Most have really dropped. It seems like everything they touch lately just doesn't shine like it used to. It looks like the Kardashian charm might be fading a bit, and quickly too. It's quite interesting how they're working hard to keep up this image of being billionaire business moguls, all while it seems they're hustling behind the scenes to secure loans and refinance their debts. It's like seeing a fancy house of cards beginning to sway, and everyone is just eager to find out which card will tip over first. So here's the deal. The Kardashians aren't just going through some financial bumps, they're also navigating a big image makeover challenge. How are their TV ratings doing? Going down. Their reality show on Hulu isn't quite hitting the numbers they were hoping for. It looks like their social media engagement is slipping even quicker than their stocks, and that's quite a statement. Industry experts are suggesting that this might be the start of what they're referring to as the Kardashian crash. It's not only about money, it's about being relevant. Gen Z seems to be moving away from their whole vibe now. They're pointing out all sorts of things, from Photoshop mishaps to how businesses operate, and once you lose the younger crowd, it's game over. Can you believe this? Their efforts to stay in the spotlight seem to be causing more trouble. Whenever they attempt to connect with normal people,
I think just taking some time for myself. I'd like to read a little bit or even just flip through a magazine. I enjoy, than the got milk people were. So that really never came to fruition. And then at the end of the day,
it doesn't go as planned. Do you recall Kim's get up and work remark? What a tough situation for PR. With all these financial scandals coming to light, folks are beginning to see through the smoke and mirrors. Their business empire seems to be facing some challenges as well. Remember those fun collaborations they used to have? Brands are feeling a bit hesitant. It's understandable that people prefer to steer clear of any potential financial scandals. Plus, there's this exciting new wave of influencers who are so much much more authentic, more relatable, and honestly, much more affordable to collaborate with. But here's the interesting part. Sources say the family is still enjoying life and spending freely. Private jets, designer everything, massive parties. It seems like they're focused on keeping up appearances even as things get tough. What about those big debts we mentioned earlier? Something has to change. Honestly, this might be the conclusion of the Kardashian era as we understand it. Sure, they've bounced back before, but this time seems a bit unique. The numbers are clear, and those bills just keep adding up. That's all from me today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you can stay in the loop with all the latest celebrity gossip.